everybody, welcome back to my anime reaction channel, Gizanime. Today I'm going to be discussing a few topics. First of which we'll go over now is going to be what I'll be watching this upcoming season. So let's get into that right now. Alright, first off, I'm going to start off with the obvious. Platinum Man is going to be on my watch list. This is a 24 episode series, so it's going to go well into the next season's anime. So that will definitely be on the list. Then up next, I'm not going to go over all of these, just over what I'll be watching myself. Obviously, I'm watching it now, Demon Slayer. Pretty much a given. I think almost any anime fan out there is probably watching this anime. That said, I think it's going to fall a little short of this season or this upcoming season. We're already 4 episodes into it. More if you count the train arc that is supposed to be a part of it as well. So there are only 7 more episodes. I've heard there are only 11. So it's going to fall short a little bit of the next season. But this is still on my watch list. And if it's not on yours, I highly suggest you give it a go because the animation alone is really good. That said, you know, the storyline also is really good. And it has, like, really comedic moments, but they give life to the characters. So it's not just funny slapstick humor for the sake of just being funny out of nowhere. It has its purposes. And next up on my list of what I'm going to be watching this upcoming season is How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom Season 2. I loved the first season. And that's saying a lot because I'm the type of person that sees all the technicalities that go into a series like this, like the politics and the land and, you know, the names of every kingdom, which there are quite a lot of. And some of it can be a little overwhelming. But I still enjoyed the series. I enjoyed how Soma went around trying to do the best he could to gather intel on, you know, the opposing kingdom, Amadonia, how he recruited people from within his kingdom of every, you know, not really tribe or people, but, you know, he went looking for the best of the best. And even if a person wasn't really sure if they were the best, they could still come and try and find out. And one of my favorites is actually Poncho. Poncho was, you know, a really heavyset guy, and he was who I thought he would be. He's a food connoisseur, and just this like loving demeanor of food itself and his knowledge of the food sources really brings, you know, more life to the show. So I will definitely be watching this. It is definitely not for everybody. It is an isekai, but I highly recommend that anyone who runs across this anime at least give it a fair shot. Next up on my list of animes I'll be watching this season is, gonna butcher this name, Cyberco Bisco. I am not really sure too much of what's going on in this anime, but as I was going through all of them, trying to look up the trailers and whatnot, looking to see what really interested in me, because I'm mostly all about the fantasy, the isekais, really love isekais. The animation on this show was really incredible. And the premise, you've got like this post-apocalyptic scenario where everything has been destroyed and by rust, and you've got this guy who is using these mushrooms to bring life back to the world, and everyone, well, pretty much everyone, thinks that he's using them to create more destruction. So in the series, we follow this guy and somebody else he meets along the way who are trying to rescue everybody, and then like a government system trying to stop him because they're unaware of what he's really trying to do. So not really sure why he doesn't try to explain it to him. Maybe they're not trying to hear it, or maybe the government is corrupt and they don't want it to be restored. But I am actually really interested in this series. I think it'll be a dark horse of this season. Kind of like Wonder Egg Priority was a few seasons back, although that ended really tragically. So if this is on your radar at all, I'll be watching it. If it's not on your radar at all, again, as I've said with the previous ones, I would try to at least watch an episode or two, see if you like it or not. If this is, especially that, like your type of genre, the apocalyptic type series, then it'd probably be right up your alley. With that said, let's get on to the last anime I'll be watching, or at least reacting to on this channel. She professed herself pupil of the wise man. So, this anime is a little complex in its premise. You've got this guy, let's go over the synopsis real fast. Going by the name Dumbolf, he's known across the land of this virtual world, but one night before bed, Kagami uses an in-game vanity case that's about to expire, opting to create his ideal version of a female Dumbolf avatar for fun. So he creates like a female avatar of, I guess, this certain race. And waking up, he's surprised to find that he's now in the body of the avatar he created the night before. And he'll have to work his way from the bottom up. So he's a young dude, okay? So he's a young dude, personally, like his real person is a young guy.
I get it.
An old dude. So he's playing this old wise man, this guy here, who is playing a young girl. So this old dude became this young girl overnight.
Nice.
Who's still that old dude. So yeah, young girl, still old dude. So the whole premise is that people don't believe that she's the old guy. So the story revolves around him trying to convince everybody, or her, that she is the old dude somehow. So it sounds funny. It's an isekai, obviously. So as I've said before, I love isekai. So I'll definitely be watching this. That said, I don't think it'll be anything out of the ordinary. So unlike the others I said before that you should give a shot, I'm not so sure about this one. I'm just going to watch it because it's right up my alley. That said, though, again, maybe give it a shot, but this is not one of those ones that you definitely probably have to watch. But that's all of these shows that I'll be watching, or at least reacting to. I'm probably going to be checking out a couple others. This one here, the strongest sage with the weakest crest, looks really interesting to me. The guy gets reincarnated and is handed the strongest crest, but the people of the world, it's like way later, and magic has pretty much died out. And from what I've gathered, this crest, they feel like is actually really weak, and he knows it's the best one. So he's trying to rise through the ranks to show everybody that it is the best crest. And the only other one I'll probably be watching this season is in the Land of Leadel. This really reminds me of Sword Art Online, where the young lady was dying of, I think it was AIDS actually, and she's put into this like AI system, which is what's going on here, and she dies in the system. Whereas in this one though, she dies, but somehow I guess her mind is put into the game, and it's 200 years later, and she's basically trying to figure out what's going on from there. So this one looks pretty interesting. There's just only so much I can react to, unfortunately, on this channel. So I'll be watching those two as well, but won't be reacting to them once more. Alright, with that said, I need to figure out what to do with all of these figures, and I have twice as many. There's others that are down here. So yeah, I could use your help figuring out what to do with these. If you watch this, let me know down in the comments below if you would like me to do a huge unboxing or some type of giveaway with all of them. There are 17 figures in all, not including the original unboxing figure that I've been showing off. That will still be given off. 500 sub mark for the Dragon Ball Z brush figure. But I would really appreciate any input on what you all think I should do with these things. Alright, with that said, I have a couple more other things that I would like to go over. Kind of like a channel update sort of thing, because the channel is not growing at all. I realize that something like this is hard to do, and that it's just not going to be easy peasy, but I expected a little more growth than I've been getting. Not sure if I'm doing something wrong. So I would really appreciate if you run into this video, you get this far, you hear me talking about this, I'd appreciate in the comments if you would just let me know what I could do to make the channel grow. If there's any advice you have to maybe do things differently, which helps me leeway into the next section of what I'm going to be doing on this channel. I'm going to try to do reaction videos, or at least one of them a little differently than normal, to see if it gets a little more traction. So instead of reacting to the whole video, what I'll be doing is watching it myself, going through it with you all as the audience, but that'll be a lot easier to explain as I get into actually getting it done and getting that first video out, so people will understand what I'm trying to actually say. But with that said, that's the video. Let me know again what you all think I should do with all these figures, and what you'll be watching this next coming season. I'd really like to know maybe if there's something else I should be looking into that I didn't discuss in my overview of what I'll be watching. And with that said, I will see you all next time.